Welcome back to Nerdrotic, everybody. This is the makeup Friday Night Tights episode on late Saturday night, which is probably Sunday morning for most of you. Got 20 minutes left of Saturday evening here on the West Coast, San Francisco, California. And this is where I'm live. And I come to you from nerdrotic.com. Hi, everybody. And thanks for waiting. I just got back from Shazam about an hour ago. I just posted my spoiler-free review. I'll probably repeat it here. I will try very hard not to spoil anything. I am kind of a blabber, so I meant to do the video was supposed to be uncut, but I went through it and I totally blabbed two things that would really suck if you heard it from me. So hello, Carl Manvers is here. I am sorry to report, Carl Manvers, that your film is inferior to the DC Shazam film, and it was awesome. I don't want to use that word too much anymore, but because it's way over. It was brilliant. How's that? Brilliant in a fun, family kind of just a cheesy way. A way that it's just wholesome. I mean, there's a couple of scenes that aren't so wholesome in there, and it's definitely modern. They didn't use the 1950s Billy Batson, which I agree with Professor Geek on that they kind of should. The whole deal is Billy Batson supposed to be the best of the best, and they went full on postmodern and New 52, which I despise most of the New 52. And I'm sorry, DC fans, I love DC. Okay. I sold comics for 10 years in San Francisco. I love DC. DC made me a lot of money, and I would call myself more of a DC fan now than a Marvel fan. Make mine DC. So they certainly are kind of in their phase one. They went back to basics, which is like something I've said, other people have said it, and it's working. Now, Warner Brothers just lost another exec to Me Too. I don't know how much this is going to affect it. I think Walter Hamada is in charge of DC. It seems to be going in the right direction. This is definitely what they need to do, especially after you just pulled off an Aquaman film, which I like. I know some people didn't, and I understand that, but I liked it. But I'm a comic book fan. So when things go full comic book, I love it. I know that's not going to play well to the normies and stuff. And maybe that's the difference now. Maybe the difference going ahead is going to be the MCU's kind of for normies and the DCEU will be for comic fans. And maybe they'll always trail Marvel kind of like they, sales wise and ticket sales wise, like they always have in the comic book industry. But maybe that's okay. Maybe that's fine, because there was no identity politics, nothing, not a peep. It was a family friendly movie, like I said, except for one scene, and it was really well done. I thought it was really well done. It was fun. And for those of you, there's a couple of you in the chat who are from my fine city here, San Francisco. You know how pretentious the audiences can be. They were clapping, they were laughing. There's a couple of stinger scenes that you want to check out. They go full Shazam comic book in the first movie, which is there's a scene where I cheered. I was so happy. I think it's better than Aquaman if you want to compare them. I liked them both. I'm more surprised that they pulled off like pretty decent movies. Now, these aren't the greatest superhero movies ever made. Now, don't get me wrong. I would put it it's better than Venom, but I enjoyed Venom, but Venom's bad. Shazam's not bad. Shazam's actually pretty good. And it's the kids. The kids are great in this movie. And maybe I'm being a big softy dad. I mean, that could be it. But the most important thing, and I said it in my review, is Nerdrotic Jr. loved it. So they nailed their target audience, and get your mind out of the gutter. You know what I'm talking about. The kids that were in there were cheering, happy. Everybody was happy. And that's not what I saw at the end of Captain Marvel. At the end of Captain Marvel, I didn't hear a clap. There wasn't a sound. People walked in, walked out, and then they, were all brainwashed to like the MCU. And why not? The MCU's been great. I've been rewatching the first part of the Endgame trailer over and over again, and yeah, it was good. I like it. I don't suspect everybody's gonna like it. It's not super sophisticated. It's not it's not the dark Shazam. It's very much like Sky High. I love Sky High. So, eating my greens, Gary, says Peter Davison, Australian $5. What time is it over there in Australia, Peter? How's mom doing? Hope mom is eating her greens. Have your vitamins and some a Vegemite sandwich. Is that what you? I'm sorry to stereotype you, Australian stereotype. Let's get to the chat. Let's get to that. I gotta kind of be quiet. I gotta do some ASMR because everybody's asleep. Well, Mrs. Nerdrotic's asleep, but excuse me while I drink a little coffee here. Ah, that's so good. It's so good when it hits your lips. Burning the midnight oil at work. Thanks for keeping me company. James Dashwood, you are welcome. Thank you for keeping me company. We got Mike Brown here. Paul Thonkum, in for fun too. We're all in this for fun. Life is for playing, in the immortal words of Perry Farrell of Jane's Addiction. Hologram Nunchuck, Mediocre Media. My God, what a great name. That is so actually Mediocre Media. I would take some Mediocre Media right now. From Hellheart, I've read that it has Gremlins level of darkness. You can confirm in a scene, and in a couple of scenes. Yeah. What they do is they set something up with the scene, so it raises the stakes for other scenes. So yeah, I would say a Gremlins vibe is accurate. That's very good. That's very good. Whoever pointed that out, props to them. The MCU is for SJW comic fans, and DC is for normal people who don't care. Sorry. Oh God, it just jumped on me. I'm sorry. Who don't care would be my bet if these two movies are any indication. Kavinsky Smith, you are exactly right. And honestly, the New 52 was SJW DC. It certainly was. I mean, it's nowhere near as bad as SJW Marvel. And at least with the New 52, there was some great art. I mean, no doubt about it. The art was top notch. And I like some of it, but I don't know. There's that I'm starting to come around. One of the things I liked about Marvel more than I like DC was they never reset their continuity. At this point, Marvel needs to, and I think it frees up DC to do different things now that I'm older, I definitely like what they've done with Rebirth, but this Heroes in Crisis stuff, man, I cannot get into it. But I do like Doomsday Clock, but that's only because before Watchmen happened, and they've already peed all over Watchmen, so it's like, what the hell at this point. The trailers look cheesy good. Nice to see a superhero family type film out there. It really is. It's a Disney film done by Warner Brothers. And honestly, it's what we need right now. It's honestly what we need. You know what it reminds me of? It's not anywhere near the quality of the first Spider-Man movie, but when Spider-Man came out, for those of you who are my age, and if you're up this late, you probably are around that. So you remember 9/11. Now we're not going to get into politics, but you remember the mood of the country. And part of the reason Spider-Man was so well received is it came out 7-8 months after 9/11, and it was that breath of fresh air the country needed. It just needed to forget and be entertained, and I think that the timing of that movie and the quality of it was perfect, and that's why it did so well. The casting of Dr. Savannah is spot on, Maverick MX, except his age. There's one little teeny problem, and you'll see when you see the movie, but it's not anything that derails the film. I'm just being super nitpicky at this point. But Mark Strong is brilliant, and I want him to come back and play Sinestro. He was so good in that terrible movie. And we've done podcasts on this before. Okay, I've done podcasts back in the early days of like we did a whole podcast on what was the best thing in a bad movie. Like Mark Strong was great in that horrible Green Lantern. Tim Roth was brilliant in Planet of the Apes, Tim Burton's god awful Planet of the Apes, but Tim Roth was great in it. You know, like somebody actually came to play. You know, Titans, the kid who plays Robin is great and great. He's really good when he's not stabbing somebody in the nethers with a pair of scissors. Gabriel Rosenberg, 100,000 subscribers by Thursday. Who is going to hit 100,000? You are? Because I'm not. As I'm full on Captain Kirk with the MCU at this point, let them die. Kavinsky Smith. Yeah. If they need to rise from the ashes, yes. Just all this talk. I spurred out. Listen, I don't mind Captain Marvel being powerful. I don't mind her being the upper tier. For them to just bring her in and just say she's the most powerful thing because they want to have their most powerful superhero be a woman, to be different, is dumb. I mean, it's debatable who the most powerful superhero is. It's been a debate forever. I remember when I was a kid, it was pretty much universally believed that as far as non-gods, it was Silver Surfer, you know, and that's back in the 70s, Ghost Rider was up there, of course, and we debated all day long, but we all pretty much, I'm talking about the consensus of me and my 9-year-old friends all pretty much agreed that Silver Surfer was the most powerful non-god superhero. Now people can argue with me, and that's good. That's a good debate to have. That's the kind of debates I would like to be having on this channel. Probably wouldn't bring the most clicks, but honestly, I would rather do that than talk about. Well, I have another Captain Marvel video coming out. I do, and believe me, I bring them out because I actually feel that way, but it does pay the bills. The whole theater stood up and clapped. Yes. How's your father? Yes. It was pretty amazing. It was pretty amazing. You know what? I'll tell you what the secret was. How's your father? Now I have heard audiences clap at movies that didn't do well. You know, what's funny is, Tom Jane's Punisher. When I watched a preview, a free preview, and people loved it. People were cheering and it was raucous, and then it just flopped. So, I mean, we'll see how far that goes, but, and it might've been the audience that it was perfect audience. It's kind of a great B movie. I love Tom Jane's Punisher, by the way. Love it. But I think it has everything to do with how you end your song and the outro song that they used. So, would it be spoiling time? It's just a song. I'll just say somebody's name, Joey Ramone. We'll leave it at that. When you end anything with that man singing, it makes you feel pretty good. May he rest in peace. We miss you, Joey Ramone. But how many empty chairs in the theater that WB paid for, Nerdrotic? I would say 50%, Cleveland Brown. And welcome back, Cleveland Brown. Long time no see. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know who started those rumors though. I just what did I say? I say, like, entertain the possibility, kind of like what we do in the Exozone, Cleveland Brown. We always entertain the possibility. It could definitely happen. Cleveland Brown, you're a comic book fan. Does Marvel overship? Yes, they do. Do they make people buy the same comic book over and over again with variants? Yes, they do. Is that padding the numbers? Yes, it is. They shouldn't count variant covers as a sale of it's the same story, but they should actually count them different. But the reason they don't is because it pads the numbers. So if they do it there, why wouldn't they do it in other places? It's just me. I'm just saying. I don't know how they do it. To be honest with you, it'd be pretty hard. And why not do it with every movie, except if you have an agenda involved? I was hearing the same stuff for Doctor Who. Doctor Who's premiere episode with Jodie Whittaker had record ratings, and then 2 weeks later, it beat the record. They found 400,000 views under the couch in the waiting room, in the green room of the BBC. They found 400,000 reviews that fell out of somebody's pocket, and they added them to Jodie Whittaker's first episode so it would beat Chris Eccleston's premiere. And then we find out that one of the people who aggregate the numbers is funded by the BBC. But I'm just supposed to take them at face value. Okay, sure. Did you think the movie was a little violent in some places? I've heard people say Shazam gets quite gruesome at times. That is overstating it. There's one scene that could be construed as, well, it's pretty gruesome. It is, but it was necessary. It was very necessary. So yeah, I would say in that fact, yeah, it definitely earns its PG-13. But as far as gruesome, it's well, the 7 deadly sins are pretty they're done okay. I mean, like, the effects are pretty good. Everything's pretty good in this movie. I liked it. DC making films fun again? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. BO1D, is that the Boyd Bohr? Why does that make me think of Voidvod? I can't wait to see it, says Rebecca Gold. It's fun. It's a fun movie. You will enjoy it, I think. Unless you don't like Shazam. So, and I said it in my review, it goes full on Fawcett. It goes full on Fawcett. It dabbles a little bit in DC's New 52, but it only uses like peripheral stuff. The things that I wasn't liking but paid off better was Billy Batson in the beginning. I wasn't liking the kid very much. They really should have spent a little more time on him and a little less time on Dr. Savannah. I don't know. I would have cut a little bit of Savannah's origin out. I got the point. And I would have had a little more interaction between Freddie and Billy Batson. That being said, it kind of makes up for it at the end, and you'll understand what I mean. They do something very different with Billy Batson's family than they did in the New 52, and definitely from the original story. So, and I will really try to like not spoil anything. If you hear me going too far, just like press F or something like that and just tell me to shut up. Let me get a couple super chats and I'll jump back in the chat. Thank you again, Peter Davis and Nicholas Glenn, $4.99. Do you think we will ever get a Peter Parker from the comics? What version, live action or animated, do you think is the closest to our Peter Parker that is in the comic books? The 90s animated series. The 90s animated series. And I would say in Into the Spider-Verse, the Spider-Man in the first 10 minutes that ends up being blonde, the way he acts is like the Peter that I knew in the comics. But I don't think we'll ever see him the way we know him from the comics, Nicholas. And here's the rub with that one. Thank you for the $4.99. People feel like they've seen all the versions of, the normies think, well, we've seen Peter Parker so much and he's always this and he's always that. It's like, no, we actually have not seen the real Peter Parker from the comics at all for a nanosecond in any of this. Tom Holland is good, but he's Ultimate Spider-Man. He's Spider-Boy. He's not Spider-Man. For the vast majority of the Amazing Spider-Man title and Spectacular and Web and Sensational and Marvel Team Up and Marvel Tales and everything he's been in, for the vast majority of it, he is a man. He's a grown ass man, over 25, mid 20s, over 25, approaching 30. You can play with it a little bit, but working a job, paying the rent, he's freaking out of high school. No, and it sucks. I don't think we'll ever get to see it. Mary Freeman, $5. Shazam makes superpowers look fun. Great movie. It was. You saw, the thing is they showed way too much of it again. They need to stop doing that stuff because you saw a bunch of the origin type scenes already, but Um, they don't mess around with the villain. They just kind of like, it is a comic book movie. He's a villain. There is backstory. There's definite backstory. And Dr. Savannah's dad is somebody else's dad in another DC property that was on TV on the CW. Thank you, Mary Marvel. Timon, is it Timon Flip or Timon FLP? And it's an $5. Oh, this is from Brazil. It's almost 4 a.m. here in Brazil. Glad I will be able to celebrate my new job by seeing Shazam. I need a good pick-me-up movie to wash some Marvel negativity. Congratulations on the new job, my friend. That is great to hear. Greetings down in Brazil. And that is awesome. I love talking to South America. Yeah, it's a country that technically I could drive to. No, you can't. You can't get through the Guatemalan jungle, right? Didn't they quit there was supposed to be some highway that goes all the way down there and they stopped because they couldn't get through the jungle, but you could almost drive down there. Congratulations on the new job. And this will definitely pick you. There's no negativity in this at all. And it just is a comic book movie. Everything Captain Marvel could have been. They could have done this with Captain Marvel. The reason they went agenda is they thought, well, I mean, maybe they got the result they wanted. They wanted to stir up controversy, and that got the curiosity factor up, and that got more people in the seats. Maybe we played a part. If that's the case, you're welcome, Disney. But that works once, doesn't work twice. Not with the same franchise. It certainly worked. It was somewhat like Black Panther, but it was a different movie. And Black Panther was, better than Captain Marvel for sure. Filmax, Australian $5. Typical shill media. Just checked Rotten Tomatoes. Shazam has a 93 critic rating, but it is not certified fresh. Not surprised. Not surprised at all. And I honestly don't know what other people will think about this movie, and I don't care. I liked it. But this is how I like my superhero movies. I like them where, I could take them to my kid and, listen, Logan would have liked Captain Marvel if he genuinely liked Captain Marvel. He didn't, and he loved this movie. I said in the review, he's drawing a picture of Shazam right now. He's too embarrassed to show off his art, but if I can find one of his pictures later, I'll show you. He's getting better. He's getting a lot better. Michael Canuel is it Canuel or Cannell? Sorry if I mispronounced that. Thank you, Phil Max, for the Australian $5. $9.99. How is it that Captain Marvel and Supergirl both have the last name Danvers? Hang on a second. All out of bubble gum. Good evening, Gary. Just wanted to say thank you, sir, for all you do for the need of fandom. You are welcome. You are welcome. And garbage, 5 pounds. A garbage song played in Captain Marvel. Why you not tell me? I was prepared to give the film a try, and I simply hated it. The bad guys were pathetic. I like garbage. Did I not tell you the garbage song was in there? They played every typical 90s girl, and they didn't play like okay, so real quick lesson on this. If you weren't around in the 90s, which many of you were, you knew there was a big feminism wave at the end of the 90s. Girls Kick Ass, Lilith Fair, but they didn't choose any, like they didn't play did they play L7? I don't think they played L7. I mean, that would be a band I would play for sure. Hang on a second. I was going to try to pull up an article for you. Excuse me. So Michael, I was going to, I was brain farting there. I had to double check. There's a big difference. One's Danvers and one's Danver. But I couldn't remember. I was like, I'm brain farting. Hey, luck of the draw. Shazam was great. Trailers revealed way too much. Felix Alvarez, $2. I completely agree. I completely agree. But I think, you know what, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I think a lot of you are clever and you're not watching as many trailers. I hear that a lot. I don't. I generally watch the first one, first two, and then that's it. I'm done. No TV spots or anything. What movie would I can't remember what movie I had it with it. Oh, it was way before. It was an MCU film. I can't remember which one though. It might have been Age of Ultron. But I know there was definitely too many trailers for Thor Ragnarok. I didn't watch them all, but there was just way too many trailers for that movie. I like Thor Ragnarok. I don't know. A lot of people didn't though. Where have all the cowboys gone? Asked Matt Deckard for $1.99 and 99 cents with his fedora on. Milady tips the fedora. Coffee's good, folks. So, hey, thanks everybody for joining me for this late night one. Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was going to do it, but I'm pretty excited. I wanted to talk about a good movie and I wanted to rip Captain Marvel. So I'll give you guys, since there's not many of you here, right? I haven't even seen how many of you are here. It's just between us. Yeah, that's a lot of people for this late. Cool. 353 people. So yeah, my next video is George R. Martin chimed in on Captain Marvel. So it's basically going to be, shut up, George, finish the book. There's your preview. It's such an obvious, the headline is just, it's so triggering. So, that'll probably be the next video. And yeah, I put out another lawsuit one. I usually don't, usually wait like once a month, but Anas put out an update for Star Trek, and maybe some of you saw the video. When the lawsuit first started, I honestly didn't think he had a prayer. Now, I still think he's got a very hard road to ride. And I honestly, if there was a gun to my head, I don't think he'll win, just because CBS is a $1 billion corporation and he's just a Nas, an Egyptian young man who is out there in the world and taking on the big company. But the more time goes on and the more I read and the more CBS drags their feet, if anything, they're going to lose real bad in the public opinion. Now, you Dreckies out there, if you still believe this, if you go and watch my video, if you watch Ricada Law's video, if you read the document, they admit it. They basically admit that they had access to the Steam game. Yeah, we might have gone in there, but we came up with that idea independently. So there must be some proof that somebody logged into Steam and they can figure that out. I honestly, it's obvious to me. This is my opinion, by the way. This is not a fact. And, again, the way the laws are written, they're written for the big companies to win. So Anas has to prove a lot of things. And it's got to be certain percentages. And for all the legalese, please go to Ricada Laws. He's done a couple videos on it, a couple live streams. And they're really good. Ricada Law's excellent channel. I've been watching his live streams late at night. So yeah, it's just mind boggling. It's mind boggling that they could get away with this, but they probably will. And there's people like who seriously doubt it. That's the most mind boggling thing. I expect CBS to fight for their property. And I don't think it was execs at the board who ripped it off. I think it was an employee who ripped it off. And now it's too late. CBS can't do anything right. Well, they could have made this right, and probably nobody would have heard about it if they would have played ball, but they decided not to. And now their name's getting kind of dragged through the mud by some YouTubers, basically. And it's funny. I bring it up in my video. I'm like, those are some of my best performing videos. And it's kind of shocking, especially the last lawsuit update. I didn't think it was doing that well. And I looked back at it the other day and it's like almost at 100,000. I'm like, holy crap. So I think a website could use 100,000 clicks, right? I mean, I don't know. It didn't need to go down this road, but it did. And I guess they just took on the wrong guy. They probably thought they could settle, and so far he's not settling. And who would blame him if he did? I wouldn't at all. As long as he's happy, I'm fine. I know his mom and dad are sick, so I send if you're listening, Anas, or if you're going to listen to this, send my love to your family, and we're all rooting for you. And hashtag justice for Anas. The guy, I just love his stones, man. They're brilliant. So what's the penalty for stealing shit? Darth Scipio, I think, I don't know, honestly. If he wins, I would be shocked, but I think he would get a piece of the pie. I mean, it's up to the judge. I don't know what the precedent is on it. Most people settle. I tell you right now, most people settle. They get a big fat paycheck. And what happens when you settle, though, is the person who, in some instances, the person who stole the stuff stays on the credit. That doesn't get removed. And they make the other person sign an NDA, and it just goes away. So I don't know. I feel like if he actually won, would it get the show? I don't think it would get the show canceled or anything like that. I think they would just have to pay him some money, and he would probably get a piece of anything related to the tardigrade. I don't know if he can get, I doubt he can get the rights to season 2 or 3, but definitely the stuff with the tardigrade in it, he would have some sort of right. Maybe some of the Blu-ray sales, which weren't great, by the way. You can go look them up. They weren't great. But Netflix being involved in this has got to piss them off. And that is something that might be worth some some cheddar. 355 watching, and only 116 have fondled the like button. Markless Earth, please fondle the like button. Please, me too, the like button, please. Oh boy, is that too soon? Too late? Too soon? Right on time? I'm not sure. I am unsure. Gary, have you heard of the Shazam tie-in novel, Shazam, Freddy's Guide to Superhero-ing? It is has a lot of DC Easter eggs and fun callbacks to the DCEU. I will check it out. I'll be honest with you. I'll show you the last Shazam I read. It was a long time ago. Was it? No, didn't oh my God. Okay, so The Trials of Shazam might have been the last thing I read. I mean, that was just about him. Of course, I read, Justice and Kingdom Come, but I could have sworn there was something by a Neil Gaiman, but maybe I'm just, no, why am I thinking Neil Gaiman? It wasn't Neil Gaiman. It was the Bone Guy. Why am I, see, that is so terrible. That's what happens when you get old. Oh my God. Why am I know this guy. It is Jeff Smith. God damn it. Please don't be Alzheimer's. So yeah, the Shazam book by, I know he's all, geez, Gary. The Shazam book by Jeff Smith. Did I see Jay? Which Jay? My friend Jay Brian Smart? I haven't seen Jay in a while. There is a reference to Black Adam in there, and I'll leave it at that. Just a reference, though. So don't expect. I want to temper it. Don't expect The Rock. But his name's in the credits, so he is coming, and I think they set it up pretty good. Did the Shazam movie have an anti-Bush message? No, I think it was very pro-Bush, Cleveland Brown. It seemed to be very straightforward. You know what I mean? It was Gaiman, right? To see that, it's been a while. I could have sworn it was Gaiman. I know Jeff Smith did it too. But see, listen, I had to read, 7 comics a day for 10 years. I forgot a lot of stuff. I really did. I'm trying to remember what the Gaiman Shazam thing was. It doesn't matter. Mm. Ah. Hey, if DC, there is there is a deep cut. There's a couple of deep cuts, but okay, let's temper deep cut. For a normie, it will be an incredible deep cut. DC Shazam fans, and not every DC fan's going to know this. Okay. A casual DC fan might know this. A hardcore DC fan will probably know this. You'll be telling somebody who somebody is. It'll be kind of like the Captain Marvel stinger at the end of Infinity War when all your friends were going, "What's that?" It's going to be like that. Be ready. I think it's going to be and correct me if I'm wrong, silhouette and animator, but how do you say Zephyr Chan? Will Black Adam be an independent film completely separate from this one, or will it be sort of a sequel or spin-off film from Shazam? I thought it was an independent film all on its own. It will be connected, obviously, universe-wise, but I think it's going to be completely independent, and they will meet up someday. Jay from Men in Black. CBS is a joke. Not even sure I want to see the Picard show, says OG Deadbolt. It's written by Akiva Goldsman. Sonar in Space, Batman and Robin, Lost in Space, the film, Teen Titans Season 1, Robin stabbing somebody in the nads with a pair of scissors. That Akiva Goldsman. Yes, Black Adam was going to be The Rock. And listen, that movie's been on and off for how long now? A decade? 8 years? 7 years? I don't know. But he's still in great shape, and I would love to see it. That's unless the MCU casts The Rock as Namor. Because let's face it, anybody who plays Black Adam can play Namor. Do I remember the 1960s Spider-Man series? Well, not from the. I mean, yes, I watched it in early in the morning, right before Star Blazers when I was a kid in the 70s. Black Adam with Rock is 2020. Namor is a tough character to get right. I think they will be able to get Namor right. Well, it depends. I don't know. I honestly, I was a guest on another podcast today, and we talked about how I basically don't want anything made right now. Don't bring back anything. Just leave everything alone until all this bullshit goes away. And then we can bring back Torchwood or, think about bringing back TV shows. Cause right now I don't want to see the current take on anything. Not with this crop of creators, not until they have cycled out. So what's my opinion on the upcoming Men in Black movie? None. Zero. I mean, like, it doesn't even move the needle for me. I'm not going to watch it. I don't care. Men in Black is not like this great franchise. To me, I like the first movie. It's got a great line in it. It's got a great line. People are, a person is smart or people are dumb, something like that. I'm too dumb. I'm people. Yeah, it looks like, Tessa Thompson's going to be the kind of the Mary Sue smart one, and Chris Hemsworth is just going to be an idiot. And it's like, I don't need to see. Basically, Tessa Thompson's going to be playing what Dave Cullen called a masculine female lead. She'll be playing a masculine female lead, just like Captain Marvel was, just like a freaking. I don't know if Hannah's good or not, but I was watching the trailer for Netflix's Hannah while I'm waiting for Shazam, and I'm like, huh? And it might be the greatest thing since sliced bread, but I'm just like, huh? and I'm watching this teenage girl like killing 300-pound men, and I'm like, okay. I mean, if she's got superpowers, if she's some kind of superhero, then okay, then fine. I got you. I still love the first Avenger Captain America movie. Robert Smith, I dig that movie. I guess a lot of people don't like it. I freaking love it to death. Captain America has the best trilogy in the MCU, period. It's not even debatable. And go back. I thought that movie was damn good. I dig it. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Let me get to the super chats here. Mighty Balzac, Australian $2. My Balzac is mighty. Can you say Shazam in your best Gomer? Shazam! Is that pretty good? Shazam, Shazam. I want to go to San Francisco. Thomas Brown, $1. Was that worth your Australian $2? Yeah. Thank you for the $1, Thomas Brown. If you got a question, pop it in there at Nerdrotic. John Gunsel or Gunsel. I think I might be a year or 3 older than you. 6669. Love your show. Thank you, John. You are 2 months older than me. 2 months. 2 months and a few days. Not that much older. I'm pretty old. What's up, man of action? How's it going, dude? Long time. Did you see that JP at Ego Tasket had Orville review erased and a worldwide ban the day after Disney took over? I did. And I've got a video coming out about that. It's I've got my first, I don't know, is this the first time I've like not talked about any particular franchise? It'll be the first time I'm talking about Disney and Fox, and it's basically repeating what I've said a lot in live streams. But if people haven't watched the live streams, they wouldn't know that I've hated this deal from the beginning, and it shouldn't have happened. And now a bunch of people in Hollywood are going, I wish somebody would have stopped this. Well, you could have. Everybody in Hollywood could have stopped this. There was a way to stop it, but nope, you didn't. And listen, I know hey, I'm a fan man myself. I'm very happy that but again, I'm not. The potential of the X-Men and the Fantastic Four being in the MCU sounds great, except the direction they're going doesn't sound so great. So you know what? Maybe I'd rather not see a Fantastic Four and just read the comics and be happy, because we lost the comic book industry to the MCU. I mean, the comic book industry is burning up right now for a lot of reasons, but the MCU is one of them. Disney is one of them. SJW Marvel is not the main reason. It's not. Let's be honest. It's the straw that broke the camel's back, but it's not the main reason. The direct market and everybody involved, comic shop owners, creators, publishers, we all bear some responsibility in not doing our part to keep this very niche industry going. But SJW Marvel really ground it into the ground. It could have lasted quite a few more years, just dying its slow death that it was dying. But when you have a stagnant industry, which it was, I mean, go look at the sales for Amazing Spider-Man from 2004 and go look at them, you know, for non-event. We'll just say your average issue, non-event issue, which is very rare these days, I know. But if you go back and find, you know, Spider-Man 623 probably sold about the same amount as Spider-Man 523 and 423 if they're just like non-event issues. That's a stagnant industry. You have nobody competing with Diamond to publish comics at all. Nobody with the desire. As a matter of fact, I think Diamond's propped up by the big publishers. Why wouldn't the publishers distribute their own stuff? Why do they have to do it through Diamond now? I know it's nice to have a middleman, but honestly, there's so little money made in comic books. Any extra penny you can make would be, you know, what was it? Okay, so Captain Marvel #2 sold 37,000 copies, and what was it? About 108, what? $180,000 it made, like all together. So it was $399, and it sold about 37. I'm rounding up and down. It was about $180,000. The book generated. That's like nothing. And then it gets split. Okay, so 2,000 comic shops split up the 100 and what is it? $18,000 or 19, whatever it was. And then Marvel gets that minus printing, paying the creative. Okay, well, after they pay the people who actually made the book, they still have probably $117,000 left because they don't pay anybody. Yeah, there's not a lot of, it's not generating money that's serious. I think I heard, yeah, I remember vividly the day Derek Robertson called me and said Spider-Man sold 60,000 copies, and it was the first time that Spider-Man like dipped, and then 60,000 became the norm. And I remember it being shocking. Like I was like, because I wasn't really paying attention. I was just paying attention to my store, so I wasn't looking at national sales. I'm like, hey, everything's great, and it was about halfway through owning my store, and Derek Robertson, the artist, called me and goes, "Here's Spider-Man. Amazing Spider-Man sold 60,000 last month." And I'm all, what? You gotta be kidding me. And it was true. And then it kind of stayed that way. Yeah, that's when you knew like there was an expiration date on this. And even when I bought my shop in 2003, I'm like, I'm not going to be doing this forever. There's no way. There's no way this could last. But man, the industry, or the community, what they're called, is rocking on like everything's fine. We're going to have it tomorrow. Oh, you're not. Two Cats Comics closes tomorrow, or actually, I think today's their last day. So I'm going there. I might even live stream from there. I'll see if Christian will go on video or on camera, and I'll be, of course, respectful and try to be sensitive to the guy, because I absolutely know what he's going through. The last day in your comic shop is gut wrenching, absolutely gut wrenching. So I want to go and support another soon to be former retailer and say goodbye to a shop that was pretty decent. It was pretty good. Believe me, I was pissed when they got there because they were within a mile of my shop. I'm like, but it fired me up. It really did. When a shop moved in, I think it made me up my game, and we coexisted great. We did. And yeah, it's gonna be sad to see it go, and the discount's gonna be great. I know I'm terrible. Extreme Stream TV, 20 Danish crowns. Thank you so much. Thank you. Will you do a video on the fandom Orville game? Fan-made Orville game? Sure. Absolutely. I'm going to do a couple of side Orville games, and I'll make that part of it. Because if they start coming, if it gets renewed, I'll do a video. I'm going to make a video on why it hasn't been announced yet. I'll do a video if they announce toys. I'll do unboxing. I'll do all kinds of crazy stuff for Orville. I'm thinking about doing breakdown videos for Doom Patrol, not live, but breakdown ones. I might do one next week because the last episode really hooked me. I'm like really into the show now. Edward Coleman, I heard this last night on Josiah's stream. By the way, I was on Josiah Rise's channel last Friday in lieu of Friday Night Tights. Please go check it out. I will link this in the description. I'm not going to keep this up as a video. It's in the community section. Or just go to his channel. Please subscribe. He's a good kid. And I was joined by John Talks and That Star Wars Girl and Comics Division and Jeremy of Geeks and Gamers. It was lots of fun. Yeah. And the only reason Comics isn't here is because it's late. Keanu Reeves rumors as Raven. What do you think? Yeah. Darth Raven. Yes. Raven. Yes, I like Keanu Reeves. I'm a huge fan. Yes, I am an actual Keanu Reeves fan. I think I like him. I like that Silver Surfer rumor. I thought that would be killer. Bill and Ted. That makes me so happy that movie's coming out. Thank you, Edward. I appreciate it. Thomas Brown, $5, 3:21 a.m. here in New Jersey. Going to show my son Superman 78. Did you see Death of Superman cartoon? I have not seen it yet. I have not. My son liked it, but my son likes everything DC these days. I tell you right now, the last episode of Doom Patrol, sometimes you watch a series, especially season 1, you're like, okay, it's okay. And there has to be one episode in the first season, even if the first seasons are rough, that kind of hooks you in. That kind of like the one that goes, okay, I'm going to stick with this one. That one, and there's nothing super extraordinary about it other than it's kind of a quiet episode, but it is fucked up. And it really captures Morrison's. If you're into Morrison's Doom Patrol, it's messed up. It is messed up, but it is good. It is good. Is it worth paying? It's not yet. The DC universe needs to have, to me, at least 2 shows, and they have to have everything digital available. And I don't think they do yet. I think they have partial seasons. And then the quality of the video needs to go up a little bit too. But Doom Patrol is like 1,000,000 times better than Titans, like 1,000,000 times better. And Cyborg is starting to grow on me. He and Crazy Jane were kind of the most annoying characters, and they really have settled in to their own. And actually, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Raymond, how is it? Is it Hengehold or Hanghold? Hangold? I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing. Please correct me. Feel free to correct me on your last names anytime. You can be your own. You can be your own comic store if you hold live stream auctions on expensive books and have winners pay you on PayPal. Yeah, I could do that. I could. I'm going to have an online store connected to nerdrotic.com, and I'll show you guys some stuff. I don't want to try to, I really want to avoid, thank you for the suggestion. And that is super kind. I don't want to like, I really love doing this. Like, I don't want anything to distract me from doing this. Now it's awesome to have a platform, and that is not a judgment. I support a lot of the Indiegogo comic, and I think that is kind of the future now. I think I've been convinced on that. And the comics look really good. I still have to do my Jawbreakers review because I have read Jawbreakers. And I mean, like, use your platform for whatever, and capitalism. Yes. I just don't, I don't know how I don't want to do that too much. Maybe like once in a while, I'll like feature an item. But definitely, in the next couple months, check out the website, and there'll be an eBay store attached. And Subscribestar is coming. Apple Pay is coming. PayPal is there already. And we're doing good. Things are good. So thank you very much. You, sir, must be excited for Bill and Ted 3. I am. I'm really excited. Actually, that is the movie I am the most excited about for 2020. No joke. Thank you for the 2 super chats, $4.99 and $3.99. Mary Freeman for $2. No comment. Thank you so much. And Philomax, Australian $10. Do you know if the Orville has been renewed? We have somebody in our chat, Mr. Smart. If you want to chime in on that one, have you heard anything different? Brian Smart gave us some information a couple of live streams ago saying that they will announce it at the end of the season, and that it's that it might be renewed for a 4th and 5th season. I have a feeling it's being renewed because they have I think actually the biggest sign is they took this big break, this 3-week break, which is very ill-advised if you're a struggling series. I think they're very confident with it. It does get the views if you consolidate out if you count the digital numbers, and they're licensing stuff. Why would you license stuff for a canceled show? And if Fox got rid of it, I think Amazon would pick it up in a hot second. If Amazon is going to save American Gods, and I know Neil Gaiman has an exclusive there, but American Gods ratings tanked. They lost half of their audience, and they did not come back. And I don't think they will come back because half of their audience was Brian Fuller fans. But yeah, they went from what is it? 3 million viewers to 1.5, maybe total, maybe less, because they took 2 years off. So yeah, watch what happens to Doctor Who. Same thing will happen. Okay, thank you. I pronounce it Gunsel. There you go, John Gunsel. Or pencil with a G instead. Gensel. Okay, Gunsel. Thank you. Not too particular. I am hoping hardcore for Orville season 3. We're going to get Orville season 3. Is it from Fox? I don't know. Maybe the Fox Disney deal had something to do with it. Have you guys read all the crazy shit that's going down? They closed Fox 2000. They're going to probably get rid of the number is anywhere between 3,000 and 10,000 employees. Hollywood is freaking out. This is a downsize, folks. Hollywood is downsizing. And everybody saw this coming. And yeah, I'm going to do a video on it, but there's people out there who are generally anonymous people who are like, you know, I can't wait to read the Glassdoor articles on this one. This is not unlike what I saw coming down the line at Technicolor. And this is part of the reason I left Technicolor, because I was a contract employee there. And then they finally offered me a permanent position. But then I started seeing a bunch of people getting laid off. And it's like, I've seen this before. And yeah, I could have stayed and got laid off and got some kind of severed package. But I don't know. I tend to like to leave on my own terms. I know it's probably not the smartest move, but I just know when to get out. That's what I did at Tesla. And it's always kind of worked for me. Rhino 4563, $20. Gary, more greetings from New Jersey. What's up, Jersey? Do you remember when they switched Captain Marvels from the old TV show? Like we weren't supposed to tell the good-looking hero guy now looked like a chubby uncle. The good old days. I know. Oh, I remember that. And you know what? Honestly, it took me a minute to get it. But if I move my head, you can see my Amigo Captain Marvel, Mary Marvel, Dr. Savannah. Yes. Dun, dun, God, I mean, I want to watch them now. I'm probably going to go on YouTube and try to find some. Raymond Henghold, I'm looking forward to Dumbo. I don't know. Tim Burton doing Disney remake stuff has not worked for me. You know, Odin was comparing Alice in Wonderland to Captain Marvel, which is funny because I was doing that when it first came out. And for a little while there, y'all remember, March was Disney releasing like fantasy movies, and it would do really well. It was turned one movie did well in March, and it was a fantasy. So Hollywood tends to copy everything. March movies can do well. Does anybody remember Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland made $1 billion worldwide? Is it looked upon as a good film, as a hit? Our boy Scott Mendelson basically wrote an article, was it 2 days ago, saying that Captain Marvel is good because it's a hit. So I'm waiting for it to hit $1 billion, and I plan to make a video. That should be. I'm thinking it's funny in my head. It might not be funny at all, but we'll see. I try to run things by Mrs. Nerdrotica. Let's go to the other super chat, which is Pink Elephants. I mean, I love the story of Dumbo, Raymond. I do. That's one of my. I am not a Disney fan. I do like a couple of their animated movies though, and they're the ones that nobody likes. I like the Robin Hood one, the Fox Robin Hood one, because that was the first movie I ever saw in the theaters, according to my mom. And then I like Dumbo. Let's go up. Yeah, it's a small kids movie, and I don't have small kids. I'm thinking the option for season 4 and 5 are up to Disney now. The memo said if both sides agree. Oh, so there's a memo. Okay, so there's a memo. So it is picked up for season 3 though, and they're just going to wait to announce it. What does the Fox say, Disney? Timbo Burton. Yes. What? No Captain Marvel Jr.? Well, Fido, I'm still missing a lot of stuff. I got to get my Teen Titans, and like that's a mixture of the newer retro ones and actual old Migos. Because remember, they didn't make a lot of the old ones. So I got to get my I still need to get a Kid Flash. I don't know what happened to my Kid Flash. The first Shazam was home injured on the show, and they fired him. The new guy was lousy and lost the show. So, that sucks. So he got injured at home and he got fired. And then the new guy came in, screwed up the show. I did not know that. What's Fox 2000? Kavinsky Smith, Fight Club. Fox 2000 made Fight Club. And they are gone. It was like indie. It was a place where artists could F around and be experimental, but that those days are gone. If you want to F around and be experimental artistically, it's on your own dime now. And honestly, that's the best way to be. It's the best way to be. Somebody, I have not been reached out for a lot of sponsors, and it would depend. I'm not going to say no. If somebody wants to pay me to shill something, it better be something I use. The answer will probably generally be no, but somebody asked me, I won't name them, some app asked me to jump on and do content for them. And I said no today. I don't know if that's going to make Mrs. Nerdrotic mad. I don't know why I brought that up, but yeah, it was weird. It was the first time I got an email. I'm trying to answer your guys' emails, and and it was legit. Everything was legit on it. And I just said no. I don't know why. I just did. I don't want to be a sellout, I guess. It's a punk rocker on me. It might be really stupid. I probably gave up a bunch of money, but I like to do what I want. Big Daddy-O John Bamford. Hey, sorry I'm late to the party. What I miss? Everything. It's been the greatest live stream of all time. The Orville is renewed. The Expanse has been renewed for 7 seasons. George R. R. Martin finished Winds of Winter. Kathleen Kennedy has been fired. Brie Larson has been recast. Somebody resurrected Rod Serling, and he's going to write The Twilight Zone with Richard Matheson. But it's just zombie Richard Matheson, but he's still a better writer than everybody in Hollywood. Even though his brain's kind of half gone. You haven't missed much. No. And the Russo brothers have cut out Captain Marvel from Avengers Endgame, and David Tennant is returning to Doctor Who. And Paul McGann is going to follow him. I loved your poster, Big Daddy-O John Bamford. And thank you so much. Thank you. Manic Boy Productions, F selling out. Yeah, man. Except if it's a lot of money, then I'm going to sell out. Nobody's going to ask me to do anything. No. Nope. And I'm not even that controversial, but they're not going to touch me. Like JP is the kind of guy you're going to ask to JP at Egotastic Fun Time. That's the kind of, he's a nice guy. He can go sponsor your stuff, and he's a good guy. I like him. Disney's Black Cauldron from 1985 is amazing and dark. It is pretty good. I think I remember seeing that, but I was really stoned. Are you excited for the Lord of the Rings show coming? Thank you for the $1.99, Raymond. Thank you for the £2, Big Daddy-O. And Manic Boy Productions, thank you for the Canadian $2. MKF $35. Are you excited for the Lord of the Rings show coming to Amazon? And have you been reading Doomsday Clock? And wouldn't you say DC movies are still darker? Would I say that DC movies are still darker than the MCU? Not the last two. No. The last two have been Aquaman Aquaman's not dark. No, they've I'd say they're at the same level as the MCU now. They've kind of mellowed it out. They've gotten rid of the Snyderisms of it. Not that I hate Zack Snyder. I know a lot of people do. I don't. I am way behind on my Doomsday Clock, but I enjoy it. And Gary Frank's art it's some of the best work he's ever done. Well, I don't know. I think his Squadron Supreme was right up there too, where we got to see, got to see a lot of our superheroes in that one. Am I excited for the Lord of the Rings show? I am. Yes, I am. But I will keep my promise that I made on Josiah's live stream, that if they go SJW with Lord of the Rings, I will dedicate my entire channel to destroying that show. It'll be 4 videos a day, every day for 3 years, because I'll spurg. You think my Doctor Who spurg was bad. That will be worse. The Ghost of a Flea. Wow. That's so sad for some reason. $5. Not sure if you talked about this, but how do you feel about the upcoming Dune movie? Hmm. Um, Villanueva, the director, everybody loves him. I don't. I don't. Okay, Ex Machina. He did Ex Machina, right? I like that. That was pretty good. Blade Runner, I did not like Blade Runner 2049. And the original Blade Runner is one of my favorite all-time movies. Visually, it was absolutely stunning, but it was just walking up to doorways, it just took forever. I couldn't take it. If he picks up the pace visually, he would be the perfect director for Dune. Again, cautiously optimistic. Um, Nicholas Glenn, thoughts on John Wick 3? Yes. I think John Wick could take out Thanos. Yes. Everyone go subscribe to Doomcock Overlord DVD. We need to get his subs up. We do. We certainly do. I think Doomcock it'll happen for Doomcock. He is just a star waiting to happen. And when it happens, I don't know. But I have the feeling, Nicholas, it's going to be like one video. Every one of us, EVS, world class bullshitters, geeks and gamers, we had one video that kind of launched us, and then you got to play the algorithm after that. But I think he's already got him. I mean, like, honestly, his Star Trek Discovery reviews are the best. They are the best. They are so entertaining and so spot on. His Last Jedi review is so spot on. Everything I wanted to say. Yeah. I don't know, man. I think about that a lot. I want Doomcock to have like 1 million subscribers. Honestly, I do. By the way, he's joining me tomorrow night for the Exozone. I'm joining him. My apologies. I will be on his channel tomorrow night, 9:30 Pacific time. He is joining me here on the channel every night after Game of Thrones airs, and we might have guest appearances by Anna, that Star Wars girl, too. And we're going to be talking about Game of Thrones because we're all Game of Thrones fans. And then I will be joining him for a live Expanse shows on his channel. Now I'll still be doing Expanse reviews, but they'll be just videos. And I'll be doing all the book differences and stuff. Oh, by the way, Expanse fans, 2 more days till we get a book. 2 more days. I am going to be reviewing the prologue and chapters 1 and 2 right here. So please join me for that. Only if you're a book fan, though, because there will be spoilers for the TV show. And I will say right now, I think the TV show kind of does a better job than the books. That's just me. Paul Bevins, $5. The news update would be paradise, almost perfect. If only Chris Eccleston would come back. They cut him too short. He cut himself too short, Paul, but I agree. If you would, I was talking about this with Doug Nelson, by the way, who does all those fun Photoshops for me on Twitter. He's got a podcast. He interviewed me today. I really had a good time talking to him. And we talked about Eccleston and the tragedy of him not being in the 50th anniversary episode, and just all the missed opportunities, and where Stephen Moffat was going to take Matt Smith with the 11th Doctor if Karen Gillan had stuck around, and that there wasn't a big political shift at the BBC. And I got to put up a defense for Chris Chibnall and Stephen Moffat a little bit. Now they take their paychecks, they signed up for their job. They could have walked out like Eccleston did. But I think a big political shift happened, and I think they're told what to write, basically. Jen Eric, Canadian, $50. Jesus, Jen, that's a lot of Canadian cheddar right there. Thank you so much. Very generous. Just got here. Did you talk about Cheese Larson's new Netflix debacle? Oh, man. That movie looks so designed by committee to appeal to dysfunctional millennial women. It's not even funny. I'm sure it will positively affirm all of the shitty choices. I was actually thinking about reviewing it. sitting through it. I don't know if I could sit through it, but I will try. You will know if you see me tomorrow. If you don't see any videos, then I probably croaked watching it. My pick for Doctor Who is Idris Elba. Thomas Brown, by the way, generic $50. That's a lot of money. That's very generous. Thank you. Thomas Brown, $3. My pick for Doctor is Idris Elba. And we joke about that, but I would honestly pick Idris Elba for Doctor. I think he would be brilliant as the Doctor. I think that's the direction they should have gone with the Doctor. Let's just ask this question. If Idris Elba or James Madden, the guy who plays Rob Stark, basically, if either one of them were the Doctor right now, how would those ratings be? How much merch do you think they'd be selling? My guess is the ratings would be better than any of Capaldi's, because the ratings for Jodie Whittaker, they always compare them to Capaldi. You want to know why? Because her ratings aren't better than any of Matt Smith's or any of David Tennant's or any of Chris Eccleston's. There was one episode that was better, and that's because they fudged the numbers, in my opinion. But even if they didn't, there was one episode that was better, and then it right down to Capaldi level. And yeah, so if Richard Madden was the Doctor or Idris Elba, they would it would be a sensation right now. Absolute sensation. Well, if somebody else was Jamie Matheson was writing for him too. Yeah, freaking Doctor Who. Mighty Balzac for Australian $2. Here's $2 more. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Your Balzac is mighty. It is. And it's Australian. Thank you. Cheers. John Gensel. Man, I love Exozone. Didn't know you were a UFO nut job until last week. Long live the Majestic 12. Indeed. Well, the Majestic 12 are, they do live a long time. They were all given a serum to live longer. Eisenhower is still alive with Kennedy's brain. And they are secretly running the world from a compound that is just next door to Doomcock's underground base. Yeah. So, yeah. Yes, I am a UFO nut job. I am also a Bigfoot nut job. I'm also a Doctor Who nut job. I'm pretty crazy. Yeah. That's why it's called Nerdrotic, folks. It's not because it's like erotic. That's what everybody thinks. No, it's neurotic. Oh, look who's here. Cotton candy haired Jeremy for $1.99. I was waiting for him to call this out. Cotton Candy Bear Gary, I think, stole my name idea. You think? Well, you didn't TM your cotton candy hair. Honestly, your hair is way more accurate cotton candy wise than my beard's more like, I don't know, like rusty or bronze or whatever. Let's get back over to the chat. Hey everybody, how's it going? I just saw Linda Carter there. Linda Carter got me through puberty. Just saying. Me and my entire generation. So no apologies there. Raymond Hengold. Black Adam is borderline racist. I'm triggered when I hear Black Adam. It's offensive to our African-American citizens. I suggest Rainbow Adam instead. I agree. I absolutely agree. Oh, well, I mean, we were, oh God, this goes way back to England Teens live streams. We were joking about how they're going to take, Spider. You're not going to be able to say Spider-Man pretty soon. Spider-Man, the X-Men, that's all going to go. Trust me. It's all going. If it keeps going down this road, it's going to go. Man. They didn't do, what they didn't do again is there's no like romance. There's slight insinuation of a romance, but not. There's something in Shazam that's going to make you feel a little awkward too towards the end, but in a good way. Peter Davison, Australian $5. What's your take on Joanna Lumley as an early 13th type Doctor Who? No, I don't know. I'm not Maybe. I don't know. I'm seriously not a fan of a female doctor. I think there should be two separate characters on that one. I still maintain it's like making Spider-Man, Spider-Woman. I know the canon, blah, 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 blah. You built the series as a man for 55 years and you just replaced it with a woman. What Douglas and Nelson and I discussed is if you really truly wanted to go down that road, you would have to spend the entire season breaking down the physiology of the whole damn thing, figuring out why you got boobs, why this happened. You would be so freaked out. You wouldn't just go, huh, okay. No. I mean, it's just dumb. That's why it's just we were out of ideas. Capaldi's ratings went downhill. It wasn't his fault. Of course, it was Moffat. We need to do something crazy. Let's make him a girl. Okay. And we got that. So they fudged the ratings a little bit, in my opinion. Oh, why would they do that? Agenda. Well, what's an example of that? Well, I'll give you one. Wynonna Earp. Wynonna Earp is a masculine female lead. And by all accounts, some people like the show. Honestly, I watched one, couldn't really get into it. It's an IDW property. It's been picked up for a 4th and 5th season. Problem is, it's got no money. So Sci-Fi didn't want to look like this is just my guess. They didn't want to look like they canceled a movie or a TV show with a female lead that just won the People's Choice Awards for Best Science Fiction Show when most people haven't heard of it. Over the Expanse. Over the freaking Expanse. And so Sci-Fi didn't want to look like they would cancel that show. So they canceled it knowing that the production company couldn't pay for it. So they're like, oh, we'll pick it up. I mean, you guys got to pay for it. Oh, you don't have any money? Well, we didn't cancel it. It wasn't us. Yeah, that's the kind of crap that's going on right now. Hang on a second. Oh, wait, I just did not want to do that. Hold on. Hold on. I think okay, so like your case, so I had to look at Peter Davison. I had to look and so the Ab Fab lady from the Doctor Who comic relief thing that Stephen Moffat wrote. I think that was funny. That was actually funny. That actually dealt more with being a female doctor than the entire 11th season, but I'm sure you knew that. MKF30, $5. DC does TV shows and video games better than Marvel. Agree? Yes, for the most part. And have you watched Preacher? Yes, we've covered every episode on this channel. Amazing show. And have you heard anything about the Watchmen show? I did. I heard it might be delayed. Don't know if that's true or not. That was the last rumor I heard, that it's possibly going to get delayed. And I would be very happy about that because I think that'll be the next show I eviscerate, because it's going to have to be pretty amazing. And it might be, it could. But it's basically just so everybody's ready. Whether you like I don't mention his name. And it's not because I am I'm not saying I'm for or against, not saying it, but our current president, it's supposed to be a whole thing against our current president. That's what the whole series is about. That was the whole motivation for bringing out the Watchmen and fast forwarding it and having an older Ozymandias played by Jeremy Irons, which honestly, conceptually sounds kind of cool. But then I remember it's Damon Lindelof. It's Damon Lindelof. And then I'm like, ugh. I was actually excited about it. I was like, you know what? The Watchmen have been so desecrated. What the hell? I'll watch it. It might be good. And then I heard his name. I'm like, ma, ma, ma. And then I heard what it's going to be about. I'm like, fuck. It's just, yes, the Watchmen's political. I know, but it's specifically 1980s politics, specifically Cold War, 1980s politics. The Fed doc, $10 Australian dollars. Here's a suggestion. Hugh Laurie is the doctor. Susan Layton posted that on the Facebook, and a mustached Rowan Atkinson as the master. That would be kind of awesome, to be honest with you. Hugh Laurie as the doctor. Uh, he was bandied about before Capaldi, and I was against it. I want my doctor to be young again, but honestly, I would take Hugh Laurie in a hot second. Oh, it'd be so great. He'd be great. He'd be great. I've come around on that. I think him and Capaldi are kind of the same. They're like character actors. I think they're just kind of the same. But I think Hugh Laurie with better writing. I don't know. House was one brilliant show. Rob Collins, New Zealand, $5. Greetings, Mr. Beekler. You are a star. Wow. Your witty chat is truly a light for me during these troubling gunman shooting times here in New Zealand. Thank you. You are quite welcome. And yeah, I'm sorry doesn't cut it. Sorry is just a words or win, man. The only thing I can tell you is I lived in San Diego in 1984 when James Huberty shot up a bunch of kids in McDonald's. And I just know how it feels because there are some out there, they're going, oh, it's just, fake sympathy and stuff. It really isn't. When that much life goes at one time, I mean, we had the Vegas shooting here. That was crazy. And, it's just people, and I'm not an anti-gun person at all, and I don't want to get in the debate. I think that's a debate for political channels that can have it, but it's tell you what, it wasn't though. It wasn't, and my deepest sympathies to you, Rob, and hope we can keep bringing a smile. It wasn't PewDiePie who did anything, and it wasn't YouTubers. And I heard a couple of YouTubers equate our criticism of Captain Marvel to that, and I would just say be careful if you say that. Be very careful. That's not something you really want to insinuate, because that would make me lift my rule of not bashing another YouTuber. Just be careful. If we get in the PMRC kind of like, it sucks. These things happen, and they're going to happen again because we're people, and unless we wrap ourselves in bubble wrap, that sucks. I mean, I'm sorry. That's the cost of the society we live in, unfortunately. And hopefully someday we'll all be nice to each other. Till then, Captain Marvel sucks. And yeah, I'm really sorry, Rob. Thank you very much for the $5. Garbage, £2 on the 1st of April. Fool us. You like Captain Marvel. That's on the nose, Garbage. I might have some traveling issues, but I might. So I am going to be going away in a little while, but I'm still going to do live streams and try to do videos, but they aren't going to be to the usual, I mean, don't laugh, quality that you are used to here at the Nerdrotic channel. Yeah, so I'll try. I'm actually going out and buying I don't know if I like a laptop or a Surface Pro or something, so I can do some editing while I'm on the road. I should have bought one of those things earlier, but yeah, I'm cheap. Cotton candy hair Jeremy for $4.99. Love your content, Gary. I'm glad at Nicholas Glenn gave me a heads up of your channel. Thoughts on the He-Man movie that's coming out? That kid looks like he Boy. It's He Boy, and yeah, it'll probably suck. I hope it doesn't, but I mean, suck is like He-Man's never going to be like a serious film. But if they make it like a superhero movie, it could work. And then maybe the kid could yoke up and he'll look like it, and I'll be completely wrong, because they've done that. But He-Man is supposed to be friggin' huge. So I want to see He-Man huge. I was never into him as a kid for some reason, even though it's everything, it's like basically superhero stories. But I have great respect for the people who like He-Man. What do you think? That's most important. What do you think, cotton candy hair Jeremy? Are you okay with it? Or are you like this? He looks like he should be in a boy band. And is it more of this kind of, why would in this super political time where like any kind of masculinity is toxic masculinity. Why on earth would you make a He-Man movie? They scrapped the Conan series they were going to put on Amazon, which pissed me off. And the reason they scrapped it, too masculine. Thomas Brown, $5. David Tennant wife is Jenny Davidson. That's right. Who is Peter Davidson's daughter. That is right. She is the doctor's daughter as well. And they never brought her back, which is like, that's another character that everybody asked to bring back and they didn't bring it back. I would love to see a season based on the doctor's daughter following Jenny. Seems like a seriously huge missed opportunity. John Gensel, absolutely, for $5. Agreed, 100%. Bring him back. Torchwood, missed opportunity. Bring him back. The Metacrisis Doctor, missed opportunity. The BBC just misses opportunities. Again, I'll refer to Doug Nelson's podcast I was on. It's a double-edged sword. The BBC, because of their budget constraints, are never going to oversaturate anything. If an American company owned Doctor Who, there would be Doctor Who shit everywhere. The BBC does the best it does. It can do unlimited funds because it partially lives off the public. That's part of the problem. That being said, they missed so many opportunities. And what's the thing they took a flyer on? Class. They made Class. They didn't bring back Torchwood. Bring back Tenet. No. Romana. No, they made Class, which was just garbage. Oh, it was terrible. Raymond Hanghold for $4.99. When I put my money in a slot machine, nothing happens. At least something happens when I put my money in this. Flintstones and original Scooby-Doo are cool. They are. My God, they are. I lived on that shit when I was a kid. I love the Flintstones. Thank you, Raymond. Paul Bevins, $10. Matt Smith was the Doctor for over 300 years in one episode. Becoming the Doctor after 13 regenerations and 350 to 600 years merits some explanation. How many generations has the Doctor had? Paul, that is a great question that Doug Nelson and I talked about again. What happened was Stephen Moffat had other plans, and Karen Gillan talked Matt Smith into leaving early. If you guys remember, Matt Smith was signed for season 8. Yes, he was. He had signed a deal for season 8, and then he backed out on the deal and went to Hollywood. And you know what? He hasn't done that great. He was in The Crown, and I guess that would be okay for him, but his movie choices haven't been that good. Does anybody remember the movie he shaved his head for and effed up his last appearance in Doctor Who and effed up the show? One thing we talked about was all the plans Stephen Moffat had made for Amy and Rory and Matt Smith that were pretty great. Hang on, I have a prop. This gun. Okay, so this gun was a toy they put out prior to season 7. And it was supposed to tell the story of after season 6. If y'all remember season 6, the Doctor had to die. And they had to come up with all these wonky reasons why the Doctor didn't die. And the universe thought the Doctor was dead. And at the end, they did the great thing that was what we thought was going to lead up to the 50th anniversary with the Doctor Who. That is the ultimate question. The question that shouldn't be asked. Doctor Who. Doctor Who. And he's all, I'm going to lay low. Well, when they came back, there was supposed to be a war across the galaxy between the Daleks and the Cybermen and the Weeping Angels, and they pretty much wiped each other out. And then I'm blanking on the name of the church. The church went around and made this gun. This gun is made out of Cybermen, the stock of a Dalek, and if you see right here, the finger of a Weeping Angel. And this gun is supposed to, it has certain phases, right? But one of the phases is wiping you out of existence. I think the batteries are dead. There. And then you. And you just press this button. So that's
technology matrix initiating. Stone Angel mode engaged. Stone Angel quantum singularity is now online. Multiple technology modes engaged.
so there's a Dalek mode. So in the back of the toy, it tells the story of the Doctor's been gone, the Daleks have done all this stuff, and they had to change the description. And that's when Karen Gillan left and Matt Smith left. It was clear something happened. Maybe Stephen Moffat will tell us someday. Maybe he's already told us and I don't know. But they clearly had different plans, and the actors left too soon. They had to bail. And the same thing happened with Tennant. They wanted Tennant to stick around for season 5, and he didn't. And they had tons of plans for that too. So Moffat did get kind of burned, but there was a bunch of other stuff too. There was a bunch of politicking behind the BBC. Do you remember Avengers and Not Ready for Primetime Players comics from the 70s? Yes, I do. I own it. I do. Do you guys remember the superheroes showing up on Saturday Night Live? Do you remember John Belushi as the Hulk and Garrett Morrison? I want to say Grant Morrison as Ant-Man. And the Hulk stunk up the bathroom, and Dan Aykroyd was Superman, and I'm forgetting who else. That was awesome. Paul Bevins, you got me going on it. Yeah, there needs to be some explanation. Turd Burglar for $4.99 watched the X-Men AS episode today on Rogue's origin and how she got her powers from Captain Marvel. I hope we get this and she gets kicked to the curb. I think we will, because honestly, they've burned through. What Marvel's going to have to do with the X-Men is do all the really star-jammery comic booky episodes and stay away from the Hunted in Fear crap. I really like Fox drove that into the ground. And isn't it weird that their last X-Men movie is pretty much a remake of the worst X-Men movie that everybody said they hated, and they're freaking remaking it basically and just reversing a couple of things? Freaking idiots. The elves in the new Lord of the Rings aren't having children because they are ultra woke post-op trannies. The elves, they might be. I don't know. I think they'll. I'm pretty sure Legolas will be gay. No, he's not going to be in it. I'm just kidding. 50 Canadian is like 364. Hey, 364 more. That's 364 more than I had, mismatched stock. Way to rain on my parade, buddy. No, it's okay. Anyone else think Eddie Red? I thought Canadian dollars were stronger than to the US dollars now. Wow, what happened? Anyone else think Eddie Redmayne would make a great doctor? He might. Okay, heading down here. See, that's not true. See, I checked. It's $1 Canadian is it's like 75 cents to $1. There you go. It's not a peso, for Christ's sake. The doctor's real name is Timothy Dalton. No, that's Rassilon, buddy. That is Rassilon. Get it straight. He's also a Niles. I really feel sad when that the MCU is going to lose its main heroes, and I'm not looking forward to this new phase. Well, apparently Thor is going to be around. Thor is sticking around, but I think they're going to send Tony Stark off into the sunset, and I think Chris Evans is going to die, but don't look for him to die forever. They'll probably bring him back. What I don't like is they're not like, I can't believe I'm hearing people say, "Oh, I don't want him recast." Why not? Why does Chris Evans own the role of Captain America? Why does even Robert Downey Jr.? I would say the only one who has an argument to it is Robert Downey Jr. I heard this after Heath Ledger played the Joker. It's like, oh, we couldn't recast the Joker. Yeah, you can. Heath Ledger's not the Joker. Cesar Romero was just as good of a Joker than he was. I'm sorry, but he was. And I love Heath Ledger as the Joker, but nobody owns these characters that have been around for 75 years. So I wish Sony would have done what they originally said they were going to do with Spider-Man and kind of keep it like James Bond. Like every 3 years, they were going to recast everybody and just continue on, which is absolutely what you should do. Every 3-4 years, you just get a new Batman, you get a new Spider-Man. Honestly, I think television is where it all belongs now. I think movies, I don't know. Every time you have it's serialized storytelling, and you can't tell the best comic book stories in a film. You can tell a somewhat reasonable facsimile, but nothing close to it. Kraven's Last Hunt could not be done in a film ever. It would never have the impact because you'd have to introduce your villain. See, with a TV series, you introduce Kraven in season 1, and have him come in a little bit in season 2. And then like season 3 or 4, you do Kraven's Last Hunt. And as they knew each other, they've been around for a while. Like, you like say they were doing a Spider-Man TV series. You started out with him being an established Spider-Man. You don't do origins or any of that crap. You just season 1, Spider-Man. That's it. They need to get away as far away from origin stories as possible. Thank you, Jack O'Neill. I take that as the highest compliment. You, sir, would make an excellent member of SG1. Your channel is exceptional. Thank you for what you do. Thank you. That is Heath Ledger, best Joker ever. So far in the films, yeah. Well, no, not better than Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill's the best Joker ever. Animated series is the best Batman ever. But if we want to say live action, okay, I'll give it to Heath Ledger over Cesar Romero because he wouldn't shave his damn mustache. That did bother me even when I was a kid. But he was a pretty damn good Joker, even in that. I love 66 Batman. Love it. But Heath Ledger was great. Heath Ledger was awesome. I loved him. Jack was good too, but he was Jack. Yeah, Mark Hamill's the best Joker if we're going to count animated, period. In my opinion, which is just that, if the character is as famous for or more famous than the actor played him before, then the role can easily be recast. I agree, KSS, and Joker will be around long after Heath Ledger is forgotten. He's been around for, 7 decades? So there is no actor bigger than that character, period. Let's face it, Jack Nicholson played that character, and they recast it. So, what's up, Anas Abdeen? Gary. I don't want to interrupt your stream or topics. Just wanted to say hello and thank you for everything. Thank you for being you. Hey, thank you for being you, Anas, and one of the toughest MFers I've ever met. And no problem, my friend. Hopefully that irritated some people at CBS today. I really hope it did. I hope your blog post irritated. I hope my face irritates people at CBS. I really do. I'd love 66 Batman. Freaking love it. I hate Jared Leto's Joker. It's pretty bad. There's a Joker movie coming out this year. There's a Joker movie coming out in about 7 months. Martin Scorsese. Well, it's not Martin Scorsese. He's not involved in it. Todd Phillips Joker. It'll be The Hangover. Jack was good. Yeah, I like Jack. It sounds like James Gunn's Suicide Squad is a reboot and not a sequel. New Joker? Yeah, there'll be a new Joker. And he's off playing Morbius now. Anas. So, yeah, I hope you like the video. And everybody say hello to Anas Abdeen. He's in here right now. An astronaut cartoon. And give him a hashtag justice for Anas. We love Anas Abdeen. Simply for taking on the man. And CBS is the man right now. The Joker movie looks terrible. It kind of does. A Mystic Seer. I'm not excited about it at all. Did you notice Chris Evans a lot thinner at the end of Captain Marvel? Yes, I'm sure he was done. I'm sure that freaking regiment he was on, he's just done with it. Ben Affleck sure didn't worry about that, did he? uh, Hillywood made a parody of that Joker. He did. I gotta see it. Captain America would be tough to recast, but I'll show you who you could recast him with. Hang on. You could actually cast. Basically, you could ask Superman and Captain America can kind of be the same thing. But give me. I'll show you right now who would be a great Captain America or Superman. And I got to tell you, after that'd be a spoiler. Not that you're going to remember this, but next live stream after you've all seen Shazam, you got to remind me who I have to give a big FU to and a middle finger, and it's somebody in the DCEU for not playing ball and ruining something from Shazam. Okay, hang on. This guy was in Doctor Who, by the way. The guy I'm about to bring up. He was in the Umbrella Academy. You probably know who I'm talking about. He's in the 11th Hour. The doctor told him to clear his history because he was looking at, oh my God, Sneeko Martin Green staring at me. And this is your man. He's a Brit. Now I have a little bit of a problem with the Brit playing Captain America. I don't have a problem with the Brit playing Superman now. But this lad right here, Tom Hopper, did a great job as Luther in the Umbrella Academy. And he was a Game of Thrones. He's got that stoic look. You put a little dark hair on him or you put a little blonde hair on him and he can do it. But they're not going to recast Cap. No way in hell. They're gonna go down. They're gonna make the Falcon Cap, which is dumb because the Falcon's great as the Falcon. Anthony Mackie's brilliant in that role, by the way. He's really, really good. And I'm looking forward to him to see him in Altered Carbon season 2. Did you see the Simon and Simon? Oh, I haven't seen it. I keep forgetting to look at it, DJ. I got I got a little bit of the ADHD. I've got the attention span of a gnat on meth sometimes. I really do. He was so good as Dickon. He was okay as Dickon. They recast Dickon too, Cleveland Brown. Yeah, he was really good getting set on fire. He played it well. Cornelius Brown. Hi from South Africa. Finally managed to get you live. Well, greetings. South Africa. What is up? Need to check that out. Oh, that's nice. Everybody shout. Make sure to give Anas the support he deserves. Well, Henry Cavill, I like Henry Cavill. I do. But he's kind of a dick. I heard he's kind of a dick. From a lot of people. I mean, who cares? Honestly, as long as he plays Superman, fine. I don't care. But I don't know, man. I'm looking right up at my Christopher Reeve 1/6 scale figure, which is somebody asked me a long time ago what my favorite single toy is, and it's that one right there. I couldn't answer it. I think I said my Mego Iron Man, which I like, but this is better. Captain Britain. Oh, he'd be a good Captain Britain, Maverick. You are right. That is well played, sir. I personally like Union Jack better than Captain Britain. Captain Britain's cool. But Union Jack has a better costume. Extreme Stream TV at Nerdrotic and at An Astronaut Cartoon. Can we help with anything related to the lawsuit, like collecting signatures or something? That is a good question for Anas. I got to tell you, man, one of the Anas has never asked for a thing. There you go, right there. That's all he's ever asked for is send love and prayers. Never asked for a freaking dime. No GoFundMe's, no. And you know what? If you ever need one, you let me know. And I'd be happy to do it. Nobody would judge you for it. This must cost a fortune. But good. I mean, like, hey, he hasn't asked for anything. So that says a lot about the man's character, in my opinion. And again, if you needed to down the road, nobody would judge you for it at all. You know, there's a lot of people who've given to I think Nick Rekieta set up a fund for a certain person we know in the anime area, and I think he's gotten a lot of help, and that's good. Next year is Supernatural's last season. Either former showrunner DJ or the one who's current is running Doom Patrol and doing a great job. Nihilist Shadow, what do you think of Doom Patrol? We need a Man of Steel 2, damn it. I want Metallo to be the villain. That would be cool. I do too. Yeah, too bad Cavill's an a-hole, but he's also too bad that he never got Superman script worthy of him. You're right, Douglas. I think I don't want them to recast Superman. I don't. I want them to keep him. And apparently he's staying. I like that. Chaos Kid 24. Hashtag I stand with Anas. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We do stand with Anas. We do. Again, let me plug the Exozone again. Tomorrow, 9:30 p.m. Doomcock and I will be discussing all the latest in craziness and UFO stuff. Let me know if any of you get a survey like a couple of you listeners did after the show, because I found that interesting. I really hated all the changes made in the books from the books in Altered Carbon. I had no idea why they can go forward with the plots of angels and furries after those retcons write their own plots, says Jen Eric. Canadian $10. I never read the books, and I tried reading the books after, and I didn't like them. So maybe the show ruined. I liked Altered Carbon. I did. But I could see you being frustrated being a book person. Believe me, I'm there. I'm there with Game of Thrones. Took me a while to get there, but I'm there. We need to be Paul Bevins, $5. We need to be done with origin stories. We need these guys for decades. Constant retelling. P.S. You have some of the best live chats since early RC Meyer. Oh wow! Thanks, Paul. Yeah, does he doesn't do the live chats anymore? I think he said it was an internet issue at his house, which can be an issue. But honestly, my connections haven't been great lately. I think it's my computer's screwing up. I'm gonna have to get a new one. Although this says the stream is good right now. Holy shit. We got 4 and 6. What don't you people sleep? Oh, no way. Really? I know Rebecca Gold. I know Henry Cavill, or Fat Cavill, when he was a kid. He's not an a-hole as far as I know. Well, that's good. Well, you know who I heard it from, Rebecca? It's not like it's the best source. It was Grace Randolph. So that's, and maybe he just, sometimes, and this is totally in his defense, because I was saying he's an a-hole, but sometimes people just don't really get along with the whole Hollywood clique, and they're looked at as an a-hole, and they're generally not. They just don't fit in with that whole backstabby, sell your mother for $2. And if that makes me an asshole, then I'm an asshole. Because I didn't do well down there either. Rebecca, I did very poorly down there. I could not play the games that were played. Yeah. Batman Begins was, for me, better than the Batman live movies. I like Batman Begins. I like most of the DC animated films. They do so much better with the animated films. And Young Justice is the best damn cartoon probably ever. I don't know. This side of Batman, the animated series, which is such a beautiful Blu-ray, by the way. What are the X Zone topics tomorrow? Ask Generic. That is a good question. We are going to discuss, I believe, the Philadelphia experiment. There's some great UFO footage that Secure Team put up that I want to talk about. I want to talk about more Oumuamuas that are out there that they found out there. And I want to talk about what I'd really love to talk about is how far your belief goes for UFOs. Like, is it 50% belief, 20, 10, 5, 75%, or do you 100% believe? Because I don't know if I can honestly say that. Speaking of internet issues, am I having them right now? Hang on, I hope not. Did it fix? Is it gone? I'm asleep. Do I have a problem right now? Hang on. Let me make sure everything's down. What? That hiccup in the stream, whatever it was, just lost 150 viewers. That sucks. Wow. How long was it hiccuped? Well, thanks, YouTube. Well, that's okay. I can't go on forever anyway. I'm 90%. I'm 99% sure. Or maybe because I brought up UFOs. I'm 99% sure I saw a UFO in the 80s. I wish I would have seen one. Hi there. Captain Marvel was a great movie. I loved it. It sucked. I'm sorry. I'm glad you liked it though. That's cool. I thought it sucked, but I don't judge you for liking it. Were you talking about Shazam? Because Shazam was great. That's the real Captain Marvel. Shazam was much better than Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is trash compared to Shazam. Captain Marvel's acting was terrible. They destroyed one of the best characters in the MCU, although I'm hearing Skrull theories now, and that could fix a lot. If Nick Fury was a Skrull the whole time, and his eye, that was a Skrull's eye that got taken out, or he just uses it as an excuse, I can accept that. I can accept that. But yeah. God damn it, man. That pisses me off. So how long was the hiccup? Somebody tell me. How many seconds was it? Oh, Fragger. It's almost hitting 2 hours anyway. That's not it. Un momento, por favor. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, I'd lost like 150 people. About 2 to 3 minutes. Really? Was it when I started talking about UFOs? I bet you it was. YouTube, god damn it. Can I just say UFOs? UFOs, Bigfoot, John F. Kennedy, conspiracy, sons of bitches. Don't go down that road, YouTube. The BBC is messing with my stream. I'm going to now do 20 videos on the BBC for messing with my stream. And yeah, that's weird, right? When I start talking about UFOs, flat earth, conspiracy. Let's see what happens. I don't give a shit about the stream anyway. So, oh man. Chupacabras. Yeah. Chupacabras. I'm going to have a chupacabra barbecue. They taste great. Be prepared for Gary, the spiky blonde with tats and love for the SJW comics coming soon to this channel. That's right. SJW comic reviews. Oh my God. I can't wait for Kamala Khan's Miss Marvel. That's like my favorite book. She's so great with her big hands. And Captain Marvel's the greatest. She's the strongest, you know. She could beat the crap out of Iron Man and eat Thor for what did J.R. Martin, what did Martin say? He said she could have Tony Stark for lunch and Thor for dessert. Well, maybe if it's a three-way, but you know, and I'm sure there's a porn parody already happening. What did I think of the Project Blue Book series? Mismatched Sock. That's your name. That is funny. Okay, so I didn't like it. The reason I didn't like it is because it went down an X-Files road, which I understand they want to get viewers and they got a second season. And they disrespected the material and they didn't need to amp it up and have J. Allen Hynek climbing trees and getting in planes and chasing down mysterious men who are going to turn on a projector for no reason in a school. He was an academic. He was a nerdy academic. And they really could have just played it straight and they didn't, and made it more creepy, but they wanted to make it like the X-Files. And that's 2 Zemeckis shows now. And I love Robert Zemeckis, but I watched Manifest and I watched this show and it's like, yeah, he doesn't really take that strong a role in his shows, obviously, because Dr. Manhattan could wipe anybody out because he can read your mind, so he can sense your intent. I don't even think Thanos can do that. I think it'd be close with Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet, but Dr. Manhattan's big blue wang would smack him in the face and kill him. Oh, I can't say it, Tommelfinger, because I would spoil it. What was the thing from Shazam that someone else messed up? I mean, okay. I can't say it. I would spoil it. I don't want to spoil it. You'll find out. American Nationalist SJW comic reviews. That doesn't sound biased at all. I'm not gonna be taking on comic reviews. I'm gonna review Richard Meyer's book. Your boy Zach, Jawbreakers, because I paid a lot of money for it. And it came out really nice. It did. I don't care how late it was. That doesn't bother me. I mean, listen, if you're going to call out people for being late with their books, you might want to be on time, but it's understandable because he had some litigation to get through. So I totally forgive him. I mean, he didn't need my forgiveness. It's no big. It's no big, man. Not that he's watching. I don't think he watches me. If Jason Momoa was to come to the MCU, which character would he play? I also heard Keanu Reeves might be playing Darth Raven. I think that's an internet rumor, but it's a good one. I'm just going to tell Star Wars fans, don't get excited that Dan and Dave are working on your show. Don't the trilogy. Don't. Not unless they're going to be adapting material directly, because once they went off book for Game of Thrones, it went way downhill. Thank you, Nicholas Glenn. Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Oh, probably like the modern Damien Hellstrom. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I've always Conan the Barbarian. I think so. I think somebody should give him a good script and he should go back and play Conan the Barbarian again, because he's born to play that role. I know that's not Marvel technically, but he should play Conan. Nicholas Glenn, $4.99. Are you going to visit any filming locations in Chicago? I'm going to check out the Home Alone and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles house, along with others. I have no set plans, Nicholas Glenn. I am open to do anything when I get there. I would probably, because I don't know if I'm actually going to go in the celebration at all. I got to see if I can get tickets. I might not be able to get tickets, so I might just go to the YouTube meetup thing. I've got family over there. My plan was just to go to comic shops, but if there's a bunch of people who are gonna hang out, I'll go hang out. Yeah, why not? Uh, there's a chance I might be driving. So, MKF 30, $5. Which would make a better movie, Injustice storyline or Crime Syndicate Forever Evil live movie? Injustice for sure. Cotton candy haired Jeremy for $4.99. Thoughts on the 90s movie The Crow? What percentage do you think a remake could be better than the original? I heard Jason Momoa was going to be in it. He's not. The Crow's got to be slightly like 3% emo. I don't think Jason Momoa is that. The original Crow, I loved it. It's in my top 10 favorite superhero films. I love the soundtrack. I love everything about it. Yeah, I love that film so much. I worked in the warehouse records, and when we got the soundtrack, and I remember the day that, yeah, I remember everything about that. I love that damn movie. I don't think it should be remade. It should be left alone. I honestly, it's more a movie of style and of its time than anything else. I don't think it would play well right now, because the reason the Crow did so well in the early 90s is because industrial music was freaking huge, and it was like semi-goth industrial. It was of its time. It's very much an early 90s film. I don't think it would play well right now. They'll probably, E.T. as the Crow. There you go. I thought you were going to say Peter Dinklage as the Crow, DJ Bowman. You disappoint me. You're live at almost 2 a.m. on a Saturday. I am. And I'm going to pay for it tomorrow, because when you're this old and you stay up late, the next day sucks. Hey, Douglas Nelson, you got a wrench. You know what that means? You can link people to your channel and to your podcast. Go ahead and do that. Not telling you what to do, but go ahead and do that. And I guested on his podcast today. I thought it was a really good conversation. Momoa should play Lobo for damn sure. FY Gary, there's a John Wick connection with the Crow. There is, like, within the movie or somebody who made it. What is that connection? There needs to be a Sandman movie, or will it be too weird? No, I think Sandman would be a better series on like Amazon. Look for that to be done, by the way. That's going to happen. So Neil Gaiman signed a big exclusive with Amazon. I don't know how much of the I don't know. I don't know if he owns any of it, but Fremantle is a production company that is running American Gods, and I think that's I just look for that to happen. I don't know if DC would let any of their stuff go on Amazon though. That's been bandied about for a long time, but honestly, I would much rather see a Transmetropolitan show than a Sandman show. That's me. As cute as this is, I did come on to listen to Gary, but it looks like it's not happening now. Bye. See you later. Was that when the my spinning was happening? People keep trashing origin stories, but the problem is there is a poorly thought out series of stories that need complete rebooting to continue. Well, yeah, I'd think. Well, I mean, I'm just tired of origin stories. I don't mean to trash them, but I think we're well into superheroes enough. Harp, the radical moderate, that I would just rather see an established superhero. But you're right. I mean, like, the writing sucks so bad. I don't know if I want to see anything right now, to be honest with you. If that's what you were saying, like the writing sucks. We are in agreement. Archangel 101. By the way, God, I hope there is a Hugo Weaving cameo in John Wick 3. Oh my God. I love Hugo Weaving. I really do. Since I am older than you, time to go to bed. Great show. Good night, sir. Good night, John Gensel. Doctor Who is not human yet. They keep portraying him as a white male, white female. Yep. I think there's an argument that could be made. They wanted to keep the Doctor white. Neil Gaiman as Morpheus. There was a time he could have played them, or Robert Smith. When he was during one of his, what are some of your all-time favorite bands? Nicholas Glenn. Dead Kennedys, Oingo Boingo, The Who, Pink Floyd, X, Reverend Horton Heat, the Pixies, the Descendants, Subhumans is probably my all-time favorite punk band for sure. I listened to them for like 3 years nonstop, just the same damn albums. The Day the Country Died, From the Cradle to the Grave. I know every note of that almost 16-minute song. Love that song. Yeah, those are some. Jane's Addiction. I like Jane's Addiction. I've seen them many. Social D, Bad Religion, stuff like that. But if I had to pick one, that'd be tough. Oh, Police. I'm a huge Police fan. The first 3 albums, fucking love them. Love the Police. That was great when they got back together. I got to see them. That was like the one band I had not seen. Oh, and the Ramones, who I have seen. So all-time favorite. If I had to pick one, gun to my head, I don't know. Pink Floyd. I love Yellow. Gary, I was just thinking it would be cool to do a new Quantum Leap, but do you think they would make Sam Beckett transgender or something? They would. Yeah, they would just recast it as a woman or something like that. It's like, and which would be fine, I guess, unless you're a Sam Beckett fan. See, that's what people forget. It's like, I watched the show for him, not for the Quantum Leap part. I don't care. And, that's the one thing Doctor Who's been able to survive, but they kind of lost their way. I think the BBC is like a lot of people, is like a lot of crazy, people who like really get into identity politics. There's seeing the world for what it is, and then there's seeing the world how you think it should be. And especially if you're like super uber politically correct and you just think you're right all the time, that must be just a shitty existence. I think that's part of the problem is the big franchises and the companies, the people who own these IPs, are going to tell you, you know what, oh God, who said it best was Joss Whedon in the beginning of Serenity, when River was having that little vision and she's in the school. And she's all, we're not going to tell you what to think. We're going to tell you how to think. That's kind of what's going on right now. Dun, 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 dun. Oh my God, it is so long since I said it and Obama didn't do nothing in my chat. I think it's been like 2 years. That's hilarious. BBC is only interested in scoring points with vocal minorities. Yeah, they don't need to make money. They don't need to make money. That's pretty much it. But I mean, eventually they're going to have to. Like Doctor Who can't lose money. They might not need to make it like to the levels American companies do, but they certainly can't lose it. And it's losing its ass right now. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, everybody, I'm going to wrap this up. Let me get this and see if I missed any, get caught up on the super chats here. It's getting late. Okay. All right, so we're all caught up in that. I'm going to run my little Patreon video here and just read some more of your chats in the regular chat. That's a bummer that I said UFO and the stream stopped. What a coincidence, I must say. What a coincidence. There's also been a lot of crap going on with they're changing over to a new YouTube studio. So there's a lot of behind the stuff going. They do that stuff on weekends. So I guess that might have been it. Hey, You guys hung with me, and I appreciate that. I really do. Shazam is a good fun movie. I liked it. Sorry, Tommelfinger. I don't want to. I mean, if you want to private message me, I'll tell you what was missing in. It's very much like I would equate it to Chris Eccleston. Not, yeah, I would say it's very much like Chris Eccleston. That'll be my biggest hit. There's something missing from Shazam that shouldn't be missing. Do you think the UK show The Professionals, does anyone know it? I've never heard of it. Rebecca, do you have plan on reviewing the new Critters show? Probably not. Probably not. I have to look at it. I'll take a peek at it. I'll think about it. But this weekend, I am probably not going to do an Orville breakdown tomorrow. I'm going to do a Star Trek breakdown tomorrow, but I have other videos have taken priority. Gary, is ISIS in the Shazam movie? No. Neither is, well, I don't want to say much more. Example, Spider-Man Homecoming. People were ecstatic that Spidey had no origin, but traded out a 30-second origin for a 2-hour origin story. It only needed to say Uncle Ben's death inspired him, which they couldn't. I mean, it did, but they didn't mention, but they're not mentioning Uncle Ben for a reason. So what's an example of? Example, people were ecstatic that Spidey had no origin, but traded out a 30-second origin for a 2-hour origin story. It only needed to say Uncle Ben's death inspired. Yeah. That's not a good example for me, though. Spider-Man Homecoming, I don't like that movie at all. And I don't like it because Tom Holland is okay as Spider-Man. But I'm with Jeff on that one. The cast of people around him don't do anything for me. It doesn't feel like Spider-Man at all, like at all. And that's weird coming from the MCU, but I'll blame Sony on that one. I'll blame Sony. The Big Red Bear. What do Islamic radicals have to do with the origin of Shazam? Well, quite a bit. The Big Red Bear. No, young ISIS. Everybody knows ISIS. Very funny. Big Red Bear. Since this stream has already gotten slowed down, we might as well slow it down some more. No, just kidding. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're saying, Harp, the radical moderator. Would you rather have origins or not? I mean, it's okay if you do, but I'm over them. I am completely over them, but I've read my share of them in comics. Hail to Gary. Good stream. Hail Wrenches. It's only a good stream, Tommelfinger. Jesus, man, I'm losing my touch, man. And the almighty chat, smite that lick button. Oh, I like that. On fire. Kavinsky, Smith, Uncle Ben. God, I keep thinking of that meme joke that they have of Uncle Ben's white rice. Not even Michael Keaton. How dare you? He's a national treasure, says Cleveland Brown. I did like Michael Keaton in Homecoming. I did. It was all right. I mean, I didn't like it. It fell flat for me. And hair. I typed shit. They're gonna they're not gonna put ISIS in Shazam. In this present climate, the loonies will lose their shit. And so I figured out what you're gonna say and say DC is supporting terrorists. What they put her in? Didn't they put her in Legends of Tomorrow? Did they not call her ISIS? Hey, ISIS should take her name back. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying ISIS should take her name back. They don't own the name ISIS. We're taking it back. Gary's beard grows longer every time the like button is pressed. This is true. All my hair grows longer. All of it. I'm just kidding. Does Aunt May have food products out? Maybe. It did have the hottest Aunt May. It did. Absolutely. Yeah, that's true. So before we stop the stream here, Exozone tomorrow night at 9:30 p.m. Pacific time, where we're going to talk about UFOs. YouTube UFOs. What was creepy? There we go. And I would like to thank these following people for super chatting tonight, and they were Peter Davidson, Nicholas Glenn, Mary Freeman, Timon FLP, Philamax, Michael Canule, All Out of Bubblegum, Garbage, Felix Alvarez, Mac Deckard, Mighty Balzac, Thomas Brown, John Gensel, Extreme Stream TV, Edward Coleman, Thomas Brown, Raymond Hengold, Mary Freeman, Philamax, John Gensel, Rhino 4563, the Fed OC, Raymond Hengold, a Big Daddy-O, John Bamford, MKF30, Raymond Hengold, Big Daddy-O, John Bamford, Manic Boy Productions, the Ghost of a Flea, Nicholas Glenn, Raymond Hengold, Paul Bevins, Jen Eric, Thomas Brown, Mighty Balzac. Mighty Balzac, it just kills me. Cotton Candy Hair Jeremy, thanks for finally popping in. I'm glad to have you here, my friend. Raymond Hengold, Peter Davidson, MKF30, the Fed OC, Rob Collins, the Garbage, Cotton Candy Hair Jeremy, Thomas Brown, John Gensel, Raymond Hengold, Paul Bevins, MKF30, Mary Freeman, Turd Burglar. Okay, so Turd Burglar and Mighty Balzac need to have a fight. Thomas Brown, Jen Eric, Paul Bevins. I think I would take Turd Burglar in the third round, but I don't know. Mighty Balzac is pretty tough. He might knock you out the first round. You never know. Nicholas Glenn, MKF30, Cotton Candy Hair Jeremy, Nicholas Glenn, Jeff Taylor, and the Big Red Bear. And you know, if you're named like that around these parts, my friend, I've told you this, there's a whole different kind of bear trap around here in San Francisco. It's a daddy bear trap. Daddy bear. Who's the daddy bear? That's what that sticks in my head, because when my father-in-law went to the salon one time, somebody came up to my wife and was asking about her dad, and he's all, "Who's the daddy bear?" And she's all, "It's my dad." San Francisco, man. It's the San Francisco treat. All right, everybody. Everybody have a good night, and I will be back for the Monday, for the Nerdrotic Noon on Monday. And of course, Exozone, like I said before, a couple videos coming out. Please go to nerdrotic.com. There's probably going to be lots of live streaming next week, because I'm going to pretty much be a week without it. So, and you guys will just forget all about me. I know how it goes on YouTube, man. It's about what have you done for me lately. But then when I get back, Star Wars Celebration, and I get to hang out with a bunch of YouTubers. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? I'm sure everything will be smooth. There will be no drama, and everybody's going to have a great time. I hope so. Thank you very much. Please subscribe to Doomcock. I want to thank publicly Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. Been sending a lot of people over. Thank you very much. Check out Josiah Rises. I did a live stream a couple of nights ago. Good kid, good channel, Josiah Rises. My friend Comics Division, who is the new co-host here for Friday Night Tights. Want to check that out. Of course, nerdrotic.com. Everybody have a great night, and may the small folks sing songs of your greatness. Ciao, Bella.